Good morning, Redeemer. Donovan here. I want to take a moment and just talk about one aspect of our mission as a church. We want to pursue others. We want to gladly make others glad in Jesus. And for us, that means to a great extent developing a culture of pursuit where we are mindful of others around us, our neighbors, our people in our church, our family, and just really being others oriented and seeking to bless, seeking to be blessers and pursue people for their joy. And as I'm thinking about that, I think that there's certain groups of people that sometimes can tend to be forgotten. And one of those is teenagers. I think particularly at our church, because we have so many kids, like over 100 and some kids that are 11 and under, and just a handful of teenagers, sometimes they can tend to be overlooked. And so one of the things I want to really encourage us to do is basically treat the teens as adults. And so the way I see that playing out is, let's say, particularly in our community groups, if we have a community group that has, a handful of families in it, you probably have a lot of little kids that are running around playing together, and you may have a couple of teenagers. And so as the men and the women in the group are thinking, okay, how do we bless one another? How do we pursue one another? I would think we really need to be intentional to consider those teenagers, those particularly high school students, to say, hey, they're part of our group, and for all intents and purposes, I feel like they're adults. Certainly there's ways that they continue to grow and some liberties that they don't have, but think of it this way, like an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old in your group is probably just going to be, to a great extent, content just running around playing with the other kids. Teenagers are going to be a lot more conscious of the dynamics of community and aware of whether or not they're being included. And so they really are operating at a greater level of awareness and maturity than the younger kids in the group. And so I think it's a great opportunity for us to invite them to, so for example, when we have women get together to talk or to pray, when we're considering who God might have us pursue for one-on-one discipleship, when you're getting together for a men's night, in my opinion, if they're in high school, you invite them, you consider them, and you really go out of your way to make them feel loved and included, because they are part of the group, and it's just unfortunately one of the things that we can tend to forget. So just a little encouragement to us as a body as we continue to grow on mission. Mission isn't always over there. It isn't always across the sea. Sometimes it's right before our face. So reminder to check out some of the other videos on our YouTube channel, and we'll keep dumping videos on there as we go, and just little nuggets to help us think through gospel, community, and mission. So thanks for your time. Have a good day.